BT, riding for Wally. Kill everybody walking. You know that it's on the finest. BT, how they want you bringing them BT, riding for Wally. Kill everybody walking. You know that it's on the finest.
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you joining me on the Civility Mindset channel. Today I'm going to the range. It's real shitty, real rainy, nasty, ugly out, which I don't mind. But today I just kind of wanted to do a compare and contrast video. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. But I want to show how effective the 22 training with the 22 is over wasting money and using 5.56 when you can apply those skills that you've used on the 22 and developed on the 22 and apply them to your 5.56 or your 2.23 or what have you. So I'll be shooting multiple angles so that you guys can see how the 22 does not recoil at all. But what you get in benefit from that is trigger time, manipulations, safety selector switch manipulations. You get, high ready, low ready, positions constantly. Getting those reps in there are much more beneficial than doing 1 or 2 shots or 3 shots and just trying to save money on ammo, when really you could be doing 22 ammo and you can be just as effective during training. And watch as it relates to your higher caliber or your bigger brass casings with more with more gunpowder, right? So 5.56 and 22, the holes aren't really that big of a difference. The size really isn't going to be much more than the other, but the power is, right? So we know that the 5.56 in comparison to or 2.23 in comparison to a 22 caliber, there's, you can't match it. That wouldn't even make sense in a fight, But what's nice is with all these manipulations and all of these drills that you run and you practice and you continuously do and you go over and over and over again. Also, not to mention your trigger. I mean, I know my trigger is very stiff. So I'm running something that has, a Gucci trigger, a suppressor, and all of the other cool things that would make a rifle be one of those, 5-star rifles compared to the other. Like, it's just a custom build. I built it, and to be honest with you, I haven't taken this rifle out in a while, so I got to zero it. But I brought a very small rifle compared to what I normally would use, which would be a 10.5 or 10.3. I brought the small rifle because it's a lot harder to mitigate recoil, and this way I can show you guys the difference between 22 and 5.56 or 2.23. And with that being said, you'll see that there's minimal difference when it comes to the results. The spread might be a little wider, sure, but it will not make so much of a difference that you wouldn't be able to relate to this training also while using 22 caliber. So I just want to put that comparison up so you guys can see why I started and why I choose to use the 22 as a training weapon. All right, so I'm using it as a training weapon. 1, to mitigate cost, absolutely. 2, but the reps you get, the reps you're able to, continue doing throughout a month's term versus, you're going out maybe 1 or 2 days and out of 4 days in the month, you're not able to really utilize your time and your weekend and your day or what have you appropriately, because you're worried about cost instead of worried about reps and practice and getting better and pushing yourself to be better. So I hope you guys learned something from this one, and I hope you guys go out and grab yourself one of those 22s that I told you guys about, and if you guys haven't seen it, definitely check out the Smith & Wesson review that I did, and you'll understand completely why I went from using this 556 that I would normally use. I'd be using this all day, but now I'm using my 22 all the time. Not only is it a whole lot of fun, but the saving cost is great, and the fact that I can do manipulations and the fact that I can do pretty much the same amount of training that I would if I was using a 556 is just undeniable. So anyway, guys, I'll see you guys out on the range. Love you. Appreciate you joining. All right, guys. So I'm at the range. I brought something you guys have probably never seen before. This right now, not loaded, but this was the original honey badger before the honey badger became cool, right? So I've not taken this out of its spot in a very, very long time, and when I'm done with it, it goes back in its spot. This is a very trustworthy weapon. This is actually my first build, AR-15 build in my life, and I had other kind of firsts, if you will, but this one was the catalyst to kind of create pistols. So when I started this little guy, this was a little bit of a longer barrel. This was, I think, a 10-inch barrel, and then I took it to 7 because I originally wanted to can it. It took a few years to can it, and as you can see, I got my can. But it's been through, I don't know, multiple configurations until I got it perfect. And then this stayed as it was for 3 years, 4 years or so, and as you see it here, and then I believe the honey badger came out about 2 years after I got this pretty much perfect, and I can honestly say I'd much rather have this than the honey badger. The honey badger is, to me, very overpriced, and like I said, guys, I love this weapon. I've had this for many years. I cannot tell you how long I've had it. Probably like 7, 8 years, close to 10. I don't know. You know what? Wow. I think it actually has been 10. So, this weapon right here is very near and dear to me. Again, I put it in a place where, if I had to use this, it would be a very, very bad day for somebody. And, I just keep it there pretty much all the time. But today I figured I'd take it out and I'd show you guys something, because I brought my 22. All right, you guys have seen that quite a few times now, and you're going to continue to see it. I brought my 22, but today I brought this because it being such a small rifle, such a small platform, this should have much more recoil than my 22, and I mean by far. So I wanted to show you guys this and the relation between the 22 training that I do and the translation it creates when it's going from 22 and you're practicing with that constantly, and then you take something like this and you use that instead, and you're starting to then shoot with this, and you're gonna see the translation between the two rifles. And usually I use a 10.5 or 10. All right, so anywhere between 10.5 and 10, that's much more mitigation on your recoil. This right here is a 7-inch barrel. So that being said, this is going to be a lot more kick. So if you again translate that to a 10-inch barrel, there's much less recoil, and you'll see the difference. But the reason why I use the 22 now is because of the reps, the cost, and all that stuff, like cost mitigation, and you can continuously get reps through, I don't know, endless amounts of ammo. 40 bucks gets you 500 rounds, 80 bucks gets you 1,000. You cannot compare that. So that being said, this rifle, though it may be amazing, it's costly. So now I'm going to show you, after I zero it in to 5.56. It's been zeroed at 223, so now I'm going to up it to 5.56. Cute little pop. It's got to be like a 380, I think. Anyway, so this weapon, when I fire it, there will be some movement, but I think you're going to start to understand why I shoot 22s now instead, because honestly, if you're a 5.56 shooter, 223 guy, I can promise you there is really almost no difference, and I'm going to prove that today with the patterns that I will shoot with this at maybe 10 to 15 to 20 yards out. You'll see that there is almost no difference when you zero your weapon in at 50, take it to 10 to 20, which is a normal, more than likely, engagement in a city environment, which I live both city and clearly wooded area. So I have the best of both worlds. So I'm going to show you guys all that stuff today, and you guys tell me what you think at the end of this shooting. And this shouldn't take long. This might even be like a 5-minute video when I'm done editing everything. This right here probably will be the longest portion of it. So if you want to fast forward it, go right ahead and check out the video as you see on the, maybe I'll even timestamp it, but you'll see that this right here, again being a 7-inch barrel, will have not as much kick as you think using the same platform, but in 22. All right, guys. So I'm sharing the lane right now with a couple guys I just met, really nice guys. Like I told you guys before, it is nice to be able to meet people at ranges like this where you can shoot and do a lot of things with people you've never even met but are like-minded. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 5.56, and then I'm going to take the 2, 5.56, and then the 22. I'm gonna make it side-by-side review on the mitigation on the recoil, and I'm also going to show you side-by-side as well how the gun will look when being fired, and you'll see that there's really not much difference. And this is also, again, why you should be using 22 to train for paper and 5.56 to train for people. Maybe an actual training, the one that I have coming up in May when I'm doing hostage rescue, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff you want to use 5.56 for. This right here is, it's going to save you on cost incredibly. So let's start putting our money in better places, like maybe night vision goggles, maybe IR lasers, maybe things like that that are going to help you in maybe a nighttime scenario, which I'm trying very hard to get into nighttime classes. So can't do that without night vision. But anyway, I'll show you guys real quick, side by side, between 10 rounds on each weapon, and you'll see that honestly there's really not much difference. All right, so now, right now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to mag dump just so that you can visually see how much this moves, which really it's not much. So again, I'm going to show you the targets. Actually, let's do that now. On the left-hand side is the 22. On the right-hand side is the 22. On the left-hand side is the 5.56. So I'm just going to mag dump really quick. I don't even know how many rounds are in here, but I just want you guys to pay attention to how the recoil is and how manageable it actually is. And again, this is all about the 22. This isn't about the 5.56. I want you guys to really pay attention that spending a lot of money is really on it's your choice. You could either do 5.56 and spend about $500 for 1,000 rounds, or you can get the 22 and spend $80 on 1,000 rounds. It's really up to you. Still getting the same amount of reps. Actually, I'm getting more reps with 22 and not with the 5.56. Let's go check those hits. All you gotta do is rewind it. So again, this one is 5.56. So again, guys, no joke. Yeah, there's kick. Obviously, it's 5.56. It's, 55 grains, all that good stuff. But when it comes to reps, there is no difference. It's time spent behind that trigger. All right, same thing. Now just with the 22. So honestly, yes, there is a big difference between, the recoil, but is it manageable? Yes, completely. So here are my hits there. And honestly, it looks like I just peppered everything, and it doesn't even, you don't even know what 22 or 5.56 was. You know what I mean? So like I said, guys, it's about reps more. And if you noticed, I'm better at shooting the 5.56 than the 22. And the reason why is because the trigger's harder, the safety selector switch way more stiff. The 5.56 has Geisley triggers and all the good shit. You know what I mean? So it's nicer and better to work with something that's harder for you to deal with than it is to work with something that's great and get babied by, your whatever build out there. But anyway, so these are these guys. And now these guys are gonna shoot a little bit with me. All right, guys, so I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using the 22. They're using 5.56s. So I'm gonna do 5 rounds mag change, and they're gonna do 3 rounds mag change. All right, shooters ready? Ready. Fire. Yeah. Like I said, reps. All right. Shooters ready? Fire. That was good. Oh, let's do that shit again. All right. Shooters ready? Fire. Had a fucking jam and a half.
It's those 75-year-old rounds, man.
Yo, seriously, those rounds are so old. Oh, come on, don't start sticking on me. All right, shooters ready? Fire. Oh, that was a good fucking race. You guys want to give this a shot? All right, so now these guys are going to see how they do with my rifle, my 22. He's using it first, then they're going to swap, and then they're going to use their own respected rifles after. Just make sure. All right, cool. Shooters ready. Fire. Fucking still close. Super close. All right, so same thing. Now he's got my rifle, the 22, and he's got a 5.56. Shooters ready. Fire.
Terrible.
Shooters ready. Fire. Dude, there's like no fucking difference between 5.56 and 22. When you know what you're doing, holding the rifle right, pulling it together, like, yeah, there's like no fucking difference. All right, so what I want you guys to do is pay attention to how these rifles move on their bodies, and you'll see there's really not much. Now, one of them, the last one was unsuppressed. This one is, suppressed. This one's unsuppressed, so it will have him moving a little bit. It does actually make a difference, so we're gonna see that right now. Shooters ready. Fire. All right, guys, so I'm back home. My battery ended up dying on the range, so I just wanted to say, thank you guys for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Please make sure you like and, leave comments, stuff like that. The YouTube algorithm does not like people like me, so we're at the bottom of the barrel, not because of, crappy content, but because the content in general. They hate seeing gun tubers. They hate seeing people like us start doing well. So please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit, subscribe if you are new to the channel. And I really do appreciate it. And guys, like I said last week, get out there and train, or a few weeks ago, get out there and train and find like-minded people. It was really awesome to see new guys shooting who have never been there, or at least I've never seen them there in the last 8 years going to that range. And the guys were really cool, real nice guys, very knowledgeable. The other guy who was kind of like me, civilian who's not been in the military, anything like that, he's new to it, so we'll get him acclimated with quite a bit of training. So a lot of fun. Just get out there, train, find people like you, find people like me, and start getting out there and enjoying your time out there, because not for nothing, we all see what's coming. Shit's not going to be good. So get out there, train, and be comfortable with uncomfortability. When you're meeting new people, it's not always the coolest guy out on the range who knows the most. It's not always the most, super operator equipment guy who has the kind of knowledge. You never know who you're going to meet. So when you meet people, you start talking to them and you start realizing, holy shit, this guy is just like me. It's an awesome thing. It's a really awesome thing. So get out there and train, enjoy your time while you're out there, and, practice as much as possible. And today, again, it was all about the 22 and the difference between recoil mitigation, and clearly there wasn't that much. And I was using a 5.56 that was a lot smaller than what normal people would probably use, just to prove a point that the recoil mitigation is not as bad as you think. So get the 22, do the reps, do as much as you can, and get the training that you should get. And then when you apply the 5.56s in your life or in your training life, you'll notice that those reps will have helped you tremendously. But anyway, guys, I love you. Get out there and train. Be safe. Peace.